Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and all to WCCS. Welcome to the fifth round, and thank you for your patience while we got it all set up in the background. Tonight we head to Circuit of the Americas as we come close to the halfway point of the calendar. I've got the one and only Omi in the commentary box alongside myself. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome.
Hello, Sappy. Hello, everyone. Doing very well. Looking forward to this race today. I think we're going to be in for plenty of action. Have been sick over the week, but doing a little bit better. Excited to get this one underway.
Yep, looking forward to seeing get it underway. Now we've got a little bit of a change. We've got a couple of new faces, new drivers who haven't had a chance. Well, namely one new driver who's joined the field at the very last minute. And then we have four other familiar faces. We are headed to Kota to Circuits of the Americas tonight, and it is going to be a pretty good race. 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers, 20 corners, and 2 DRS zones. The very iconic, characteristic turn 1, and then you've got a swinging complex section all the way through to turn 8. The back straight, where you see most of the overtaking of this circuit being done, and then a final sort of set of chicanes going back and forth before you come to the end of the lap. What do you think of this track, mate?
A race coming up later on as well, and a lot of elevation change around this circuit. So plenty of overtaking, plenty of uphill and downhill throughout these circuits. It can be really a fun circuit for the drivers to drive.
Yep, it's, as you were saying, it's a fun circuit. I think tonight is just about having fun, and we've got a new face to the grid. Nathan Richards of commentary fame, but also a driver in his own right, has joined the roster this evening. Fresh addition to the championship. Looking to have a little bit of fun here tonight, join the league, get involved. Oh, it's always interesting to see when a commentator goes on the side of the driving. We've seen it in other leagues. They've had dedicated commentators cups and events like that, but you don't see comms often just jumping into races. I know he does a couple of socials and hangs out with some of the drivers we've seen around the league racing scene, but you can see him here. He's going to be looking to have a little bit of fun tonight, I think.
I think he is going to be looking to have a bit of fun. And I know I participated in some 5 lappers he did a very long time ago. So I raced him a little bit before as well. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he gets on there, how he gets on out on the circuit. He was literally in the commentary box when we started this in Portugal right before Jeddah last week. So it's not been that long since he was also in the commentary box here with us commentating on these drivers. Now he's going to be racing with them as well. Knights is the first driver then to begin a lap as he makes the uphill climb to the first turn of the circuit.
Yeah, so Real Kronk, aka Knights, he's going to be being the first driver to push it out and get a lap under his belt as quick as he can. Rare Ghost, leader of the lobby and of the league, curiously, he's stayed in the pits. He's not gone for a run yet, but Johnny's Bananas and Nathan Richards have now started their runs of their own. Now, say, looking pretty clean from Kronk here, so a little bit skittish on the rear coming out of some of these corners, bit early on the throttle, but he's managed to control it quite nicely. Now, coming up to the tight left-hander just before the back straight, see what kind of speeds he can hit. Really, as the track is sort of in that sunset, I have to feel for them because they're going to be looking directly at the sun. Visibility in a bit different way than usual is going to be a bit of a concern here in quali.
Visibility definitely is going to be a little bit of a concern as well, especially when they're making their way through some of the fast corners as well and really attacking this circuit. So definitely can be very annoying for all of the drivers as they make their way through, and definitely not too good. As you can see, Knight almost losing the car there, just about holding onto it, and he's going to be the first car to set a lap time and get a lap on the board then as he makes his way through the 19th corner of the circuit, now heading to the 20th and final corner, and then it's foot to the floor after that, and he'll send it over the line and give the lap for the rest of the drivers to beat. The line comes at you very quickly. It's a 1 minute 35.703.
Yeah, very close start-finish line to the start of the circuit. But here we go. Next one, Johnny Spinaz. He's going to be coming up 0.798. He's not going to be getting the time on the field he was otherwise looking for. He's just shy. But Nathan Richards, 133.1. He's blitzed it by over 2.5 seconds. That is a mental precedent to set. Next up, we've got Vessel. He's going to go very wide, coming through. I believe that's turn 15 now. He's going to be seeking to get a little bit more pace down on the field as he comes through the final corners, penultimate now, and then coming up to the final left-hander, turn 20. It's not quite going to be the run to remember he had in mind as a 39.0. And then, yeah, Rare Ghost still in the pits, yet to set.
Yeah, so Rare Ghost still in the pit lane, still yet to set a lap time as well. But great lap time coming in by Nathan at the front of the field. And as you mentioned, with a 1 minute 32, almost with a 1 minute 32. That's how much ahead he is of the rest of the field. While Knights has set a lap time of 1 minute 35.703. And we of course did see mistakes on the laps of Knights and Johnny's, but even that is still going to be a few tenths shy if he can iron out those mistakes. And he's going to have to find time throughout this circuit if he really wants to challenge Nathan Richards today. And Rare Ghost we're going to be able to see how he's going to be able to do in qualifying. It didn't seem to be going his way in Jeddah last time out in the race. It was a change of fortunes. So let's see if he can perform this time in qualifying, and see if we can start the race well, and then also continue that form in the race coming up later on.
Yeah, well, let's see how he can do it here in Kota, because it's a different beast. It's a very unique track. It's a track that has fundamentally a different set of characteristics to a lot of others on the calendar when you put it into perspective. And so it commands a unique approach from drivers. You've got, for instance, you've got coming up here, sort of turn 16, 17, 18, all sort of rolled into one, multiple set of apexes, very high commitment corner, very easy to get wrong, especially when you're trying to keep some pace and momentum into turn 19. Carry it as much as you can. But let's see what he can do here. Rare Ghost about to start his lap, coming through the final corner. Let's see what he has.
Let's see what Rare Ghost is going to be able to do indeed then, as he makes the climb up the hill towards turn number 1 then as well. So let's see where can he get himself in comparison to the other 4 drivers in the field who have set a lap time on the board. And not Vessel, of course, is going to be looking to go faster. He made a major mistake in his flying lap. As you can see, his lap time is 1 minute 39.044. So let's see what Rare Ghost is going to be able to do then in comparison as he continues attacking, making his way to the first, now in the second as he makes his way down this little back straight, which leads you all the way down towards turn number 11, and now down towards the braking zone of turn number 12. He's a little bit wide, but but a wide line can sometimes also help you on exit, getting the power down.
Yeah, and then looking at some of the sector times, I've got a little bit more interesting data here. As Rare Ghost looking on a good run. Vessel, who we saw with that 39 that you mentioned, he lost pretty much all of his time in Sector 2. We can compare it versus Nathan Richards, okay, our first place holder, 33.1. His Sector 2 time, 37.3. Vessel's was a 40.0, so definitely got work to do in that second sector in particular. That's turn 7 through to turn 12, keep in mind. So that is mostly the back straight and just coming off the back of the multiple left, right hand corners coming off of turn 1. So we'll see what we can do here. But Rare Ghost coming up to the line now. Otherwise, decent run, but it's not quite going to have that peak pace. It is going to be a 37.8. He's going to put himself ahead of Vessel, but just consistently dropping a fair amount of time to the rest of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Indeed then. So he's been able to get himself up into P4. Still, it's Nathan Richards at the front of the field with a comfortable margin as well then. So we have just over 9 minutes to go on the clock. Let's see if any of the drivers are going to be able to find a lap time to challenge him.
Yeah, see what kind of pace he can put down on the field and what kind of moves he can make. It's going to be interesting to see how some of these other drivers stack up. I think there's still plenty of room to give. But I don't know. I think that early warning shot, if you will, from from Nathan has just set the tone. For a lot of these drivers, it has set the tone and sort of set the precedent for how the rest of this is going to go. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, never say never, but definitely has frightened all of the other drivers who have set lap times so far, coming out of the bag one lap and straight away miles quicker than we've seen by any other driver. So definitely has kind of frightened all of the other drivers. But who knows? Maybe there's a few drivers who can find an improvement to try at least get close to the lap time.
Yeah, well, we'll see a couple of other drivers take to the stage. You've got, for instance, Nathan Richards. He's a bit further up the start-finish straight. He is going to be burning the fuel as much as he can, so really employing some of that advanced race strategy, or at least advanced quali strategy, into this run here. He is going to try and burn a bit of excess weight on his car, make sure he's primed for this run. But he doesn't really need to at this stage. I think it's just about pushing himself, and as a driver, you do want to be pushing yourself, whether you are, say, 2 seconds ahead, 2/10 ahead, 2/1000 of a second ahead. If you can go for further, you can go for further. That's the hallmark of a competitive driver.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, if there's more on the table, then you definitely would like to take and do the best job that you can in a session. So we're going to be able to see then throughout this lap with the sector times of if he is up on himself or not right behind. You're also going to get not Wiesel pushing on as well. So we're going to get 2 lap times coming in as we have Nathan Richards trying to improve his lap and not Wiesel trying to get a proper good lap on the board.
Yeah, we'll see a couple of them going now. We're going to hop on board with Richards here, see what he wants to do with this lap and see how he's going to power through. He's a 10th down on his first sector here, so not quite hitting the peak time that he did last run out, but let's see if he can hold it and hold consistently through. Big thing I'm noticing, he's taking a lot more of the track. Watch how he attacks the apexes, attacks the curbs, where I think a lot of the other drivers on the field don't necessarily want to push it. It speaks to maybe a little bit of an issue with confidence in the cars of some of these drivers, but they don't push on the apexes and really go to the edge of the track limits, as we're seeing with this run here. Coming up to turn 12 now, Richie going to be really going to the wider side. Gets a purple sector 2, has improved substantially here. So he misses the apex of turn 14, but that's to set himself up better for 15 here. And even with a little bit of skittishness on the throttle coming off the back end, you can see again he just attacks the inside, really throws the car in. And I think that is part of, if not most of, what's gaining him so much time. Final corner now, coming up to turn 20, even goes a little bit onto the orange, a little bit of the inside curve, and even with a little bit of a wiggle on the back end coming off of that final corner, it's now in the 32s with a 32.9.
It is indeed not Wiesel has invalidated on that lap, so a trip back to the pit lane for him, but that is absolutely incredible stuff by Nathan Richards, improving his time even further, taking it further away from the field. We are about to get a response. They're coming by Johnny's and also Knights as well, so we're going to be getting a response by those 2 drivers as they try and get as close as possible. But of course, they're going to give it their best, but I think they're all going to be a bit frightened with the lap time that has come in, and we possibly could be getting a bit of a domination by Nathan, at least in this qualifying session. In the race, it can all change around very quickly with the different strategies and with the drivers finding their rhythm as well. But Johnny's Bananas has started a lap then in the Crown livery as he makes his way through the S section.
Yep, McLaren Chrome livery. Let's see how he does through this first sector. Turn 5, nice. Turn 6. Keeps it committed to the inside there. He is going to make an improvement. He's about 2/10 up on his previous, so he has got some speed under his belt. And I think you can see a little bit more confidence starting to come in there. He is attacking the curbs a little bit more, but also he's quite low on his battery. He's already expended most of his tank. So I think there may be an issue there as well with the resource management. Maybe he's prematurely burning his battery before he gets to the full stages of his lap, maybe accidentally letting the hot lap setting be turned on. But here we go, down the end of the straight of the back straight, sorry. He's already down to about 15%, which is going to impact his pace. Below 10% battery, you lose engine power as the car tries to recuperate those losses, because that electricity storage is also what powers a lot of your ancillary systems on the car, and you have to be careful of that. So the car does have a bit of self-preservation about it. Turns 15, 16, 17, 18, all looking fairly nice. And as we come into turn 19 now, Johnny's Bananas is seeing a definite pace improvement. Is it going to be enough for a new lap time? Let's see. Coming up through final corner now, it's going to be a 35.2. Substantial improvement. He's going to be walking away with P2. Let's see. Can Kronk, aka Knights, return fire?
Let's see if he can do indeed. Let's see if we can try and challenge and take it back away. He's up by over 0.3 of a second. So improvement to what it was in the first sector. The first sector was down. He's been able to turn it around though in the second sector. And let's see then as he's going to push on through the rest of this lap. 3 minutes on the clock to go. We're about to also see an effort by Rare Ghost and Not Recent as they try and get a lap time going. A good lap time that can maybe try. If they get it together, try get themselves up into the top two. Rare Ghost has begun his lap. Knights is about to complete his lap. So let's see what Kronk is going to be able to do then. Over the line he goes. He does manage to get ahead of Johnny's Bananas and take back the front row.
Very nice. 35 flats. That is going to be a very strong statement being made by him. Well done indeed. Let's see. Rare Ghost over a second up on his Sector 1 time. So he has certainly found a lot more pace, a lot more comfortable with the car, it seems, this time round. That is going to put him second fastest in terms of first sector. Now, let's look at the rest of his lap and see how he does. Back straight here. A lot better handle of the battery that we saw from the likes of Johnny's Bananas, and having much more in the tank to work with. As we come up to turn 12 here, let's see, how hard is he going to commit to it? Goes right out to the outside, a little bit too deep, unfortunately. He's going to have to go all the way down to first gear. He is going to get very skittish on the throttle, trying to get it back up to pace. It's still an improvement overall from his Sector 2, but it's not going to be a home run anytime soon. Let's see, though, can he still make it through the rest of this lap? Because regardless of where he stands now, he is going to be improving, and that's the important part. 16, 17, 18, all looking fairly nice. A little bit gingerly with the throttle there. He doesn't fully commit to the corner and sort of throw the car in there, as we've been saying. But now, coming across the line, 35 to beat, 35.032. Despite that issue in turn 12, he's still going to walk away with a very clean time. Just 0.02 of a second behind Knights.
He is indeed. So great stuff by him there. So let's see now. What can Not Resell do? He's invalidated, so that won't be any improvement for him at all. 1 minute to go on the clock then. And Knight's just looking to push on even further as well. Seems like he's just come over the line. But you once again have Nathan on an out lap. And he is just going to see if there's anything better he can do. Because pole is his. So let's see how... let's see then how if he's going to be able to improve his lap time or not.
Yeah, we'll see. Not Vessel is on a lap, and he is going to have no battery in the tank, which is unfortunate because that is going to impact his final time substantially. But here we go. 30 seconds on the clock here in quali. Nathan Richards going to go out for one more shot. Let's see if he can make an improvement here, because he feels clearly that he's got some more to give. Despite having the field by almost 2 whole seconds, he's going to feel like he's got more to give. Several Knights say 34.807. He's going to improve even further there, curiously. I just saw that in the background, but there you go. Johnny's Bananas, he's not going to be going for another run. He's going to be 4th at best. Nathan Richards going to be committing further to his current run here. He's going to be up by about a 10th. Let's see if he comes through and makes it all work. Remember, 32.969 is still almost 2 seconds clear of the next fastest. So this will be just a display of further domination, at least in quali, from the commentator slash racer. Coming up to turn 12 now. See, Rare Ghost heading into the pits. He's not going to improve, along with Kronk, aka Knight, so they are going to be conceding themselves to P2 and P3, respectively. Not Vessel's the last one that we want to keep an eye on here, but he did have 0 battery in the tank. Now, is he going to be remaining committed to a lap? Yes, but he is going to be substantially slower than even his last time of a 39 flat. He's going to be a 42. But let's see what Nathan Richard can do. Coming up to the line, turn 18 to 19, and then finally turn 20, looking even faster somehow than his previous run. It's going to be a 32.784, and that is an even further push on the rest of the field. Absolutely dominant stuff.
Absolutely dominant stuff indeed. He sets a lap, then goes faster and goes even faster again. Not under threat at all in that session. Great stuff by him. Clear of the field by over 2 seconds.
Yep, and that you can see the rest of the field starting to fall into place. 32.784 is going to be your pole position time from Nathan Richards. And then you have Real Kronk, aka Knights, taking the second spot with a 34.8. 35 flat goes to Rare Ghost, lobby leader and league leader. And we thought he wasn't going to set a time, but in the end, put down one of the best recoveries for Sector 3 that we have pretty much ever seen after he messed up that turn 12 at the end of Sector 2. Johnny's Bananas and Not Vessel make your final 2 spots with a 35.2 and a 39 flat respectively, after Vessel didn't really get the chance to put a good lap down on the boards. His battery was empty and he was out of options. And as we load into the race itself here, we'll just take a quick look back at the calendar, see what we're looking forward to. Of course, we're at COTA tonight for round 5, but you've got Belgium, Monaco, Qatar, Great Britain, France, Italy, and then Las Vegas still to come in this calendar. And quite a stacked calendar it is, 12 races, and a pretty good selection across them all.
Yes, a good selection as well all throughout, and plenty of action coming, I'm sure, throughout this season. So let's see how this one goes here at Austin. We had absolute chaos in Jeddah. I think it'll be a bit more on the calmer side in terms of crashes. So let's see then if we're going to be able to still see a little bit more action, as well as we did see some gaps. Maybe a good battle for second, because Nathan, right now, as it seems like, is just going to be running away with it if he can continue his form from qualifying. But he definitely seems like in a very good position.
Yep, it seems like a very strong position to be in, but we're about to go trackside, ladies and gentlemen, so stick around with us. Of course, for those who missed it first time out, this is COTA. This is the track that we are dealing with and facing. It's 20 corners, 5.5 kilometers, and let's see, without further ado, what these racers are gonna be up against. 5 red lights, track is hot, and immediately we are away. Let's see how this race is gonna go. Johnny's Bananas and Rare Ghost going for an immediate trade on position. Johnny's Bananas is gonna go to the inside, gonna lay claim to the corner. We're already seeing an end plate go missing as Bananas seemingly made a bit of contact with another car. I think that might have been either Knight or Rare Ghost, but let's see how he's doing. You can see him immediately ailing for traction. Rare Ghost has to yield in order to avoid a more serious incident, but he's going to go diving down to the inside. Look at him go. Rare Ghost has no choice but to back off speed in a big way, so he's going to get taken by Rare Ghost and both Vessel as well, but Vessel going very deep to the inside, potentially contravening track limits. That might be a warning on his part, and let's see how they go from here.
Let's see how they go from here indeed. So Nathan looking to now pull away. He's on the hard compound of tyres. He's already got, though, an over second advantage as we go down to the braking zone. Knight's trying to close in. We'll look further back to see if there's going to be any moves. The two drivers, Not Russell and Johnny's Bananas, on the soft compound of tyres. They'll be looking to try and attack and make their way through as well. But Nathan Richards, with the pace he has, even if he does have the hards right now at this stage, he'll just be looking to try and get away from the field and try and run away with this one, as Not Russell has gone off the road to give an opportunity to Johnny's Bananas, who has a little look to the inside but backs out of it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Vessel's car control here for a second. We're just going to keep an eye on him for about the next half lap or so, because he's going all over the track. He's going very wide, and then he sort of has very erratic movements. It doesn't seem very consistent with his steering input in particular. Throttle is fine. He seems like he's modulated that fairly well. Johnny's Bananas is going to immediately go into the pits to repair that front wing damage he picked up at turn 1 last lap and starting off the race. But yeah, just look at, it's the constant micro adjustments and seemingly not being able to fully commit to a turning line that I think is messing him up here. Even on the soft compounds, he's losing a lot of time because he's constantly changing his steering angle and settling the car.
It is indeed. He is really all over the road as well. kind of explains the qualifying laps from earlier. Knights has had a moment on the circuit that promoted Rare Ghost up to second position, and now we'll give an opportunity to Not Resource to try and have a go. And Nathan Richards will just try pull away even further as Not Resource still trying to fight the car and still trying to hang on to it. Through turn 11, through into turn number 12, he's going to be looking to try and make a move and get himself in onto the rostrum. But right now, still early stages. He's going to have to settle for P4, but right now I think he's mostly just battling to try and keep it inside, to keep it in a straight line at this stage.
Yep, and now, I mean, yeah, look at this. It's fighting the car is, I think, the right term and the right way to put it, because it doesn't look like he's firmly in balance with the car. It's like, you do have to an extent wrestle the car around some of these corners. It's not going to go quietly, but you shouldn't be fighting with it to the stage that you're constantly feeling skittish, and there still is a level of confidence that you should be able to place in that car. Nathan Richards getting the fastest lap of the race, 37.9, 6.5 seconds clear of the field on an inferior compound. Yeah, I think we are going to see a bit of a domination station over up in P1 for the moment. We'll see if that changes, because tyre strategy and anything can happen in the race, but we'll see where it goes.
Yep, so it's going to be definitely really exciting to see. The battle for second still is going to go on. Oh, Rare Ghost almost losing the car there, but still, all of these drivers are still all fighting with it through some of these corners, and Rare Ghost still struggling slightly. And Knights is now going to have an opportunity to try and have a go then down the straight with a bit of DRS towards turn 12. So let's see if he is going to be able to get close. Deep on the brakes, not with the best of exits. Rare Ghost able to pull away slightly. And now Knights with the DRS is going to try and get close. He's using a bit of DRS. He's far away, but he's going to try and challenge into the braking zone.
Yeah, well, let's see what we can do here. So Knights, aka Kronk, is going to be coming up to the back of Rare Ghost here. Of course, P3 in qualifying versus P2. A little bit of a slide coming out from Kronk there as he tries to get the nose into his opponent. And I think at this point it's just about getting the pressure on him. They're both on the same tyre. They're both roughly even keel in terms of pace. We saw that from their qualifying times. So now is the opportunity for him to really make a statement, for him to really put Rare Ghost under a little bit of pressure in a race situation, see how he handles and responds to it. They're both looking, even down to the liveries, looking fairly identical, but oh no! That is Rare Ghost completely out of it. He's gone into the wall. Safety car has been called. He just lost the rear on the throttle.
Yep, just out of the 20th and final corner, losing it on traction. And he was threatening to do that all the way through, and right at the end of lap number 3, it has happened for him before he went on to lap number 4 as well. So definitely is going to cause a little bit of action in the pit lanes. So we're now going to be down to 4 runners, which remain in this race. Nathan Richards' gap is going to be brought down now, but with the pace he's shown, he should be able to pull back away. But the drivers who had a bit of a slow start to that one had a few errors, had a few mistakes, a bit of an opportunity for them to all regroup and try and fight back after this safety car period with everyone bunched up.
Well, this does give an opportunity for the rest of the field in some way as well, because we had Nathan Richards. He's pushed up almost 10 seconds by that point, and now the rest of the field is going to have him suddenly back within a few tenths. So in a way, this has given an opportunity for the rest of the field to strike against our current winning position. We'll see where this goes, but for the time being, I would say that nobody is strictly counted out. Of course, Rare Ghost now unfortunately out of the race. It gives Johnny's Bananas a time to catch up, because he did have to go in for that front wing damage. He has got a chance to get back up to the queue. And now we'll see if anyone takes the opportunity as well to switch onto new compounds of tyres. Curiously, race leader Nathan Richards, he is going to swap in.
Yep, so who's going to dive it into the pit lane? so he's going to get off the hard compound of tyres. Knights is going to continue on the circuit, and so will not Russell. He is on the soft, but he's still deciding to continue on. So they're going to take track position. Nathan Richards going on to the set of the medium compound of tyres. So he'll rejoin the road right now in third. It will be Knights who will be the leader. Not Russell will be in second. Does have a penalty which will be applied as well right at the end of the race. Then it's Johnny's Bananas who is in P4 at the moment, and he is going to be he's already made a pit stop, so he'll just be looking to continue on. A few lap older tyres than Nathan Richards, but he's already made a pit stop, so he's just gonna continue on this safety car. But then maybe if there is another safety in this contest, he'll try and come. He'll maybe make a pit stop if that is the case. But for now, he's just going to continue on as.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if, now that he's taken a pit stop, and even if it is considered stretching the mediums a little bit, if Nathan Richards stayed on those mediums to the end of the race, I wouldn't be too surprised. He's technically satisfied the 2 compound rule. He's used the safety car to minimise his time losses in regards to taking his stop. Johnny's Bananas is going to catch up to the back of him, but he's going to be 3 laps older on the compound, and 4 laps older are going to be not Vessel and Kronk there. You can see Vessel still struggling for a little bit of car control as he bows out wide under the safety car. He is going to have that 3 seconds, as you mentioned. That is going to play an impact, but the field spread, if he can get a little bit of field spread, he might be able to still retain and secure the position he has.
Would be indeed then only lap number 5, but we've already had plenty of drama and plenty of action. So we are behind the safety car then, as we'll make our way onto lap number 6. Nathan's going to have 2 cars to pass that will be in his way, but he should be able to do that pretty quickly with the pace that he does have. And unfortunately for Rego, especially after a good result last time out in Jeddah, it's going to be a bit of a disappointment here at Kota in the next race, and he is going to be a retirement. There's a lot of retirements in Jeddah, but he did very well to keep out of the walls all throughout, and it was basically a race of survival in Jeddah, and he managed to do so all throughout. So it was a great drive by him and Rare Ghost. Unfortunately though, this week is not going to be the same fortune for him. He's going to be our first retirement, our first and only retirement at this stage, but there's still plenty of time to go for that to change, but we're going to hope that all of these drivers remain with us in this race.
Or hopefully we don't see any more retirements. That's the last thing we want in a situation like this. And to be frank with you, I want to see some of these drivers really pull it out the bag and really make some upsets in this championship, because as far as the championship goes, we have got a bit of a defined gap. You've got Shaniak and Iceman in the first and second spots with nearly 90 and 60 points. Rare Ghost is third with 39, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold on to that. Just if Kronk can finish even in, say, third position, he's going to have enough points to take potentially P4 in the standings, and that is going to be a big swing in his favour. Rest of the drivers also have a bit of an opportunity. Like if Nathan wins this race, as he looked to do so before the safety car, he would automatically jump into that P4 and be very close to P3 too. But constructors as well, looking to be a similar story, and we'll see where it goes from this stage onward.
Well, indeed. So, safety car is coming in, so we're about to get racing underway, and Nathan dropping behind Johnny's Bananas doing that safety car 1 lap ago earlier on as well. But there will be Knights who will be taking us back to green flag racing condition. The field will be remaining close with him, and we'll be looking to stay with him as we'll go back to green.
Yeah, let's stick on board with him for now. As you can see, the safety car returning to the pit lane, getting out of the way so these drivers can go racing full core once again. Knights is going to be in control of the field. Kronk is going to come around the final corner. Let's see, what kind of set-off is he going for? He's going for a fairly early set-off. He has caught Vessel completely off guard here. He's done a really good job of making that getaway. He's already going to make it almost 3/4 of a second. But Nathan Richards is immediately going to go for it. He's going to go for a double on the apex there. Excellent stuff from him. He's fired it down straight the inside. And he's within just one corner of Green Flag Racing. He is back on the heels.
That was absolutely incredible stuff. Late on the break, still battling for third, and James Bananas and Not Resol continue. Not Resol yet. It does seem like that he does that. There is something wrong there with him not able to take the corners fast and taking some very weird lines as well. But Nathan, able to move up to second, now is about to take the lead, surely with a bit of ELS usage, tucking in the slipstream, and on the 7th lap out of 28. He had the lead earlier on, he's about to take it once more.
You can see he goes to the right and goes to the left. He kind of throws a dummy, sort of spooks Kronk out of the position. Now he has command of the inside. He's going to go narrow. He's going to have the corner. And just like that, without even needing a full lap, he's gone back from P3 to retaining and regaining his P1 spot that he held prior to the safety car. Amazing stuff from him there. Vessel has seemingly dropped off in a big way. We're seeing him really just continue. I hate to keep bringing it up, but he's just doesn't look confident at all in that car. Like he's so skittish under, well, even under soft compound tires. He just doesn't seem like he's really comfortable in that car right now. He's constantly fighting it and snapping back and forth.
Yeah, it's definitely a horrid race for him so far, but Nathan doing Max Verstappen style stuff there, just breezing past everyone very, very quickly. And dominating now out in front. Will continue to try and pull the gap. The battle for second could be on though for us. Knights making a few mistakes at certain corners, and that could allow Johnny's Bananas to try and get his way through. So a battle for second could be on for us, but Nathan Richards is just going to continue to try pull away, and Knights has gone actually off the road, so he's going to be past there, and we won't be getting the battle for second unless Knights closes back in, and Johnny's Bananas is now moving up to second position in this race, and Knights now running in third.
Unfortunate for him there, but at least he hasn't got any visual damage. He seems to have a car fully intact, so no front wing replacement required, which would have added easily another 20 seconds to his race stint. He's going to be about 2 seconds behind Johnny's Bananas, but he seems to be closing that gap fairly quickly. He's clearly locked in. He's clearly trying to just focus, get the time down, and see if he can re-challenge and re-establish his P2 spot. I think his biggest inconsistency is just sometimes he picks his braking points and it just doesn't quite work out for him, or the car snaps out underneath him. He's got the pace. He really has got the pace, and we can see that through some of the sectors of this track, the way he licks up the car and just has full confidence in it as he fires it through some of these chicanes. It shows that he has got it under his belt. I think it is just sometimes a mistake creeps in, or there's a little bit of inconsistency that slides in there and really just upsets his flow and puts him off course.
Yeah, indeed. Then, so a lot of these drivers really having quite a few moments throughout this circuit, but Not Resol definitely really struggling out there. And let's hope he is able to try and find a bit of a rhythm. Then, Knight's now trying to close back in the gap. Now coming down to 1.6 seconds, so he'll try close that in. And there are some clouds in the air, so I wonder if we could be seeing some rain later on.
Well, it's certainly projected to be overcast. I don't know about the rain. I'll have to check the data on that one, but overcast is definitely going to be coming and is already arrived to an extent, and which is affecting track surface temps. So now it's going to be a little bit harder for drivers to keep the heat in those tyres, to keep them at optimum operating temperature, and to see them push their cars to the absolute limit like they did earlier in the race and in quali.
Yep, so track temps changing all the time as well, getting a bit more darker out there compared to the sun that we did have earlier on. So We still are currently racing with 4 drivers then. The gap Nathan Richards has been able to pull out is almost 8 seconds then, so he's doing really, really well indeed. And still, Knights and Jones Bananas separated by 2 seconds, so it's ebbing and flowing between those 2 drivers right now. And we currently are just waiting to see what battles are going to play out on the circuit. And right now we still are just waiting also for the pit stops to possibly come in later on as well. But with Nathan, he should even he should have the play. He should have the pace anyway if he wants to just make a pit stop with how fast he is running, because he might even be able to pull a gap. But if he's not, he's going to have the pace to just get onto the back of everyone and pass everyone again.
Yeah, well, he's currently sitting on about 15% tyre wear, 15 to 20%, 5 laps in. So under the current calculations, he can technically take these mediums to the end of the race. It's just a case of whether he actually wants to. If it is still a bit of high risk, because he does get into puncture territory if he's not careful. But let's see what he does. I don't know, maybe we can have another safety car, and that could be his opportunity then. But all signs point to him taking this to the end. Even if it might not be optimal pace, he's got such a gap at this point, 10 seconds already by lap 10, that I think any time lost from being on a suboptimal compound or having too much wear, I think it's going to be honestly negated. I don't know what can really pose a meaningful threat to his P1 at this stage.
Yeah, luckily the thing for him is he finds himself in a good situation. He could do either and still has the pace to finish in P1 with both options as well. So he can go for either and still probably win this race. And of course, safety cars. We saw that making a huge interruption in Jeddah. A lot of people expecting and waiting for those safety cars to come in. We've been seeing, of course, a lot of drivers fighting the cars through some corners. We saw, of course, Ray Ghost earlier on in the race spin out of the race, and the 20th corner crash as well there. So definitely a lot of drivers could be expecting a safety car to come in. Of course, we have less drivers now remaining in this race, so the chance of that is slightly less, but still is there. A driver could easily lose it out of the 20th and final corner, and it could mean that they find themselves out of the race, and so does the safety car, not least for picking up a 3-second time penalty. But if but a safety car definitely could allow all of the drivers to pit, possibly some staying out as well. But a lot do usually wait for safety cars, but it does seem a little bit more unlikely compared to some of the other scenarios we have had throughout this season so far.
Well, you've got two real dichotomies happening right now. So one, Vissel having another 3 seconds placed on him after already having 3 seconds and 17 seconds behind third place is a little bit of insult to injury. Last thing he really needs in this scenario is more penalties, more time loss being stacked against him, where he is continuing, and to his credit, continuing despite all these odds being placed against him. Continues to race, continues to push forward, where we may have seen drivers just retire, call it quits with these kind of scenarios. He's still going to keep going, and it is very commendable for that. But then the other half of things is looking around and looking at the track, looking how much they need to push. The safety car is not something that you can rely on, and Kota is a much more open track. We look back and we draw a bit of comparisons to Jeddah, where we were last time, and the big takeaway is, above all, it's a lot wider and there's a lot more runoff. Jeddah has that almost street circuit-like quality that has been defined by narrow tracks with very tight, very close walls. As we see Kronk go for a little bit of a suboptimal line there. He has to bow out, losing a bit of control of the car for a split second. But it doesn't have the same characteristics or even the same hemisphere as Kota. Kota's a purpose-built facility that has a lot of runoff, is designed to be a bit more open, have a lot more side-to-side racing. And that is going to mean that unless there is a severe error, and it really is in an inopportune place, safety cars are much less likely. Because remember, the safety car only gets called out when it's a substantial threat or in a significant position to the racing line. Quite often, we just see local yellows coming out or VSCs coming out if it's not a threat to the current race.
Yeah, so we would need a bit of front wing to also possibly as well, because I believe it's on increased right now. It's a safety car, so maybe a little bit of contact could also get that. But yes, we also had this discussion in Portugal when I was alongside the man who is in P1 right now, Nathan. Of course, the chance of a safety car, of course, is a bit less around those type of circuits like Portugal. No walls really as close as Knights is diving it into the pit lane, but no walls as close. So the chance of the safety car is very less compared to, let's say, Jeddah, which we already talked about, and we already had plenty of safety cars. We even managed to get a red flag last time out at the Jeddah corner each circuit.
Yeah, and that was the big thing as well. And a big surprise to me, anyway, is we did in fact get the red flag, just because of how much debris and how much chaos we saw on that track. So Kronk is going to come in, and he's going to go onto a set of the hard tyres. He's not going to be taking those mediums any further. I think a little bit premature if you had to ask me, because I think he was potentially on par to take those to at least after the halfway point, really extract a bit more pace out of them. But there you go. So Vessel is also going to be coming in, going on to the mediums himself. And I think that is a good call, because he was going to be seeing those softs start to die on him by this point. So much better strategy call there, and something that they can take to the end of the race with little to no issue. And that just leaves Johnny's Bananas and Nathan Richards. What's their tyre strategy going to look like?
Yep. So we've of course already seen what Knights and Not Resort have done. Now the question mark remains: what does Johnny's Bananas and Nathan Richards do as well? Nathan making his way out of the to the final corner, I should say. Now out of it, but he has not come into the pit lane there as well on this lap, at least. Maybe later on he might dive it in. Let's see with Johnny's Bananas if he decides to dive it in, or is he going to stay out. So he's going to stay out as well then. So the so we've seen Knights and Resort who have pit. Knights has gone onto the hards, Reese's gone onto the mediums, and we have Nathan Richards and still Johnny's Bananas both continuing on their medium compound of tyre on lap number 14 of this race.
Yeah, well, Nathan's sitting at about 30% or to 35% wear on his current set of mediums, so again, projected to be able to take them to the end of the race, but not guaranteed. And these data, this tyre wear statistic is, I want to emphasize that, I want to keep it in mind, it is approximate. It is not directly accurate, because this tool, as good as it is, does not account for things like setup, does not account for things like if he set it up to be deliberately scrubbing, deliberately burning up the tires and manipulating the temperature in certain ways. This is an approximate figure, so I could be saying 30%, but really it could be up to 40% for all we know. You've got a very aggressive setup on the tyre wear, and we'll have to just wait and see. If the tyres give any data given us to directly from the game, then sure, but I don't believe that we get things like tyre pop-outs when we have the track map open.
Yeah, indeed. Then, and it all does change around very, very quickly as well. So it's 26 seconds. Separating right now, Not Resaland Knights, and they all still pushing on. All of them still making their way through, and Johnny's Bananas is diving it into the pit lane then. So let's see what he is going to, where is he going to filter out as well.
Well, let's see. We're going to see him going to come out. He might just be able to pip Kronk out of the pits. Let's see. He's going to come up to the start-finish line. It's going to be Johnny's Bananas going on to the hards for the end of the race. We'll see a little bit of space squeeze come out from the two of them. But let's see. He's going to race it to get out of the pit lane. Johnny's Bananas, he's going to commit to the apex. Is he going to be able to have it? No, he just loses the rear a little bit. He has to go very narrow. And Kronk now with optimal tyre compound temperature, and having 2 laps on those hards by this point, so they've well and truly bedded in. He's going to have P2 back.
Yeah, so Knights has of course got the tires warmed up, as you say there. Johnny's Bananas, it's going to take him a little bit longer throughout this lap to get those warmed up, but then he's going to be able to go on the attack. He'll get a bit of DRS also to try and remain close as well. So he's really trying his best to get these tires warmed up and also to go on the attack. He's got DRS, he's using ERS as well, so let's see if he can try and make a move. Knight's trying to go defensive as we go down to turn number 12.
And so you get very close to the back of that diffuser there. Goes very deep in and goes a little bit wide out. But is he going to get a little bit of a switchback? Potentially. He put all of his ERS into that move. So now I wonder if he's got anything left in the tank. He might need to hang back and recharge a little bit before he goes again.
Yep, he might need to just have a little wait as Crunk all out of shape then on the exit, and Johnny's Bananas might just need to have a lap to charge up the ERS, then have another attack and try and get his way through. A brilliant battle for second position in the race right now then, and Johnny's Bananas just about holding onto the car, fighting the car all the way through right at the end of that lap. And now let's see, DRS open once again, just to remain close as well. So maybe he might just sit behind on this lap, try charge up the ERS a bit and go on the attack. Next time on lap number 17, when we'll also go towards the braking zone of 12, I think that's of course the best overtaking opportunity for him on this circuit, unless he's really close out of the last few corners and is really close for a move. But it seems like he's losing a little bit of time here, so not the best first sector and lap by Johnny's Bananas. So he's lost a lot of time and he's outside the 1 second, and now Johnny's Bananas having to use a little bit of his ERS to try and get back inside the 1 second.
Yeah, he just needs to fight and stay within that 1 second gap. Is he going to get DRS this time? That's the thing. Let's see, he's just going to about get it. He manages to pivot on detection, but he's losing the end of the car. He's losing the rear. And he's just getting a bit too anxious on the throttle, I think. Watch how he tries to accelerate out some of these corners and how he's constantly hitting that rev limiter, especially at some of these slower speeds. I think he's so caught up with trying to catch up and get past Kronk that he's maybe just foregoing a little bit of throttle control, and that is in fact losing him more time than he's gaining.
Yep, so many different things, of course, for these drivers to contend with in this race as well, but great battle that we have got currently for second position, and it is great to see that both of these drivers really wanting to fight for it and both wanting to scrap over this position. So let's see them into the braking zone of turn 1, much more closer on this lap. He needs to try and remain close though through the rest of this first sector and then that little back straight before we go on to the main back straight. So we have a little stretch all the way down towards 11, and it of course then leads us through onto the straight for the overtaking opportunities. We're about to head to it now then, and it's an 8/10 gap, so he should be getting DRS, and he's got a great exit. Knight's all out of shape. He's going to use a bit of ERS down this little mini straight to try and get close, and then through turn 11 he's now going to have another opportunity to try and attack. DRS will go open once again, and still not the most DRS, so he might need to use this lap to sit behind, but he'll definitely be getting closer and closer in the tow.
Yeah, because he's getting closer, but he hasn't got anything in the tank to really make an attack with. Regardless, he is going to try and go for something anyway. He can see that Kronk has got a bit of a difficult exit. He doesn't get the throttle down as early as he'd like, and both of them are going to be snapping a little bit. I wonder if Johnny's Bananas made contact on the front with his car there. Doesn't look like he's got any damage, luckily, but these two are still going to continue to come to blows. They're going to come into heavy battle once again, and after much anticipation, much eager driving, and a little bit of pressure on both sides of the field, both from Kronk's good defending, even in the face of mistakes, and Johnny's Bananas' very aggressive driving in some aggressive situations. He's definitely hungry for the place, and you can see that in the way that he drives and the way he's trying to push every single opportunity. But I think he honestly just needs to hang back. He's not giving himself the time to breathe. Look at how his battery is constantly drained. He should be sitting about 30% battery if he wants to make a move on that back straight. Use the DRS as a recharge tool. keep proximity, but don't keep going for these dives. You need to go for a full commitment move with all the resources behind you.
Yeah, you do indeed. These little half moves can really hurt you and then lose you a lot of time. Then you're having to waste all the ERS that you've saved up as well. He seems close once again then, but he's either got to commit to it or sit behind. Once again, gaining in with the toe.
You see a little bit of Groundhog Day here, but could potentially do a little bit more here. He does go alongside briefly. He has 2 tyres alongside, but it's just not going to be enough to fully stage an attack. Going to go again, but snap on the rear means that he has to back out and regain control of the car. Goes very wide, tries to go narrow on this time for a switchback. Much better exit speed, but again, he has to yield. And this is where we're seeing that ebb and flow. Both Kronk placing his car right where Johnny's Bananas doesn't want it, and Johnny's Bananas, throughout all of his good moves, is still playing a little bit recklessly with his resources and with his positioning, to where he is not really making the most of the opportunities he's being afforded by his opponent's mistakes.
Yeah, a fantastic battle going on between these two, lap after lap, and he once again is seeming close through this first part of the lap. He's got to keep it though, and he's got just over 20% ERS as well, but he needs to try charge that up. And Knights and Kronk has made a moment. He's gone off the road, and that is finally going to allow Johnny's Bananas to take the position. He's been trying lap after lap. He's applied the pressure, and Kronk has made the error, and that's going to allow Johnny's Bananas to move up to second. Let's see if Knights now, he's got 40%. He's just got under 40% ERS. Let's see if he can try and stay inside the 1 second and I come back.
The pressure is just built and built and built over the course of these few laps. You can see how he's been sort of slowly getting a little bit more uncomfortable with the car chasing him, and that finally came to a head. That first sector can be so punishing if you get it wrong. We're seeing that in effect no greater than right here. He's 1.2 seconds out, which means he's not going to get the DRS either, so he needs to put in a good job of these next few laps. It's not quite happening. Big snap on the rear. Nathan Richards, he has gone into that pit lane throughout all of this. He's gone onto a new set of mediums, and he is now just set the fastest lap of the course.
He has, and Kronk once again almost spinning the car. So now it looks like he needs to try and keep this one together, then throughout the rest of the lap, try get back into the rhythm, because he's had now a few rough corners. Definitely a very rough lap the last time around on lap number 19 for him. We're now on to lap number 20, and he's lost so much time there. So he'll now be hoping that there's a mistake coming soon by Johnny's Bananas that allows him a chance to try fight back in this one, or if he can just try and close now. He is back into a bit of a rhythm. He's now being able to keep the car in his control and where he wants to put the car as well, rather than having half spins around the lap. So it looks like it is now good for Knights, and let's see if we can try and put a bit of an attack to try and fight back against Johnny's Bananas.
I think both of those drivers, both Johnny's Bananas and Kronk, they just need to take a breath. Need to appreciate that they have got a really good position in this race right now. And the thing is, for as much as sometimes there can be downtime with a grid as small as this means that even just making it to the end of the race can be substantial points that you need in your race efforts and in your championship run. So even if they are trying to push and make up time, it's always good to sometimes take a breath, to yield, to understand the position you're in, and even if you have got a car who is a few seconds ahead of you, going too aggressive and resulting in big mistakes that could potentially end your race is the difference between 15, 20, 25 points and 0. And that's the thing to remember here, and I think why, when we were talking about aggression, we were talking about the likes of Johnny's Bananas, going a little bit too aggressive at points, not giving himself the time to breathe and really make a full high commitment move that was guaranteed to land a lot more. I think we're going to see maybe a little bit more of that. The same thing, Kronk's going to try and catch up.
Indeed then. So Kronk is going to try and put the pressure up. It's 2.5 5 seconds at the moment, so he's gained a few tenths through the first few corners of that lap. So now he's looking to try go on the attack, and if Johnny Bananas has had a few rough corners once again, he'll need to take a bit of a deep breath and go again, because if he doesn't try get back into a bit of a rhythm, then that could mean that it's continuous mistakes all throughout, and in about a few seconds Kronk will be right on the back of him. It's not getting to almost 2 seconds. It's 2.2 seconds, so it's come down from 3 seconds to 2.1, so he's really putting the pressure. Further down as well, further down the order, we of course have Not Weasel, who has dived it into the pit lane. Things just do not seem to be working for him at all, and he's now been lapped by a race leader by 30 seconds, Nathan Richards, who is continuing on to dominate and let the drivers behind all squabble it out. It's Johnny's Bananas and Knights both battling for second and third, and it's Not Weasel now just trying on the soft compound tyres to try get fastest lap and finish this race on a little bit of a high. It will be disappointing for him that he's in fourth and miles behind any other driver, but at least if he can try and push on, try and minimize those mistakes at the end, definitely could give him a little bit of confidence going into the next race.
Yeah, well, 1 minute and 6 seconds behind, combined with 12 seconds of penalties. That's going to be a brutal pill to swallow for anyone. And I'm not even going to even get into how he must be feeling, but he's on a fresh set of boots now. He can take those softs to the end. He can have the highest grip level of the field. So even if he has been lapped and he's in this position, it won't be all for naught. And literally, like we were saying earlier, just bringing it to the end is going to mean a lot of points that he can bank in his favour.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, you have to be proud if you are able to finish a race as well. Long distance, plenty of time for drivers to make errors and mistakes. So big well done to them, especially around circuits like Jeddah as well. Of course, this one, the walls aren't really as close, but still a challenging circuit as well. So well done to all of these drivers. Still continuing on lap number 23 that your race leader has just gone on to, but definitely for Not Weasel, it would be good for him if he's able to try stick a little bit with Nathan Richards. It will be hard, but he could try give it a go with the soft compound of tires. He's keeping around a similar gap to Knight and Johnny's Bananas. Knight is really closing in, because as you can see, a gap that was 3 seconds earlier on is now 1 second. So he's getting 2 seconds, and he's going to continue to do so. Now he's also going to be getting DRS. Won't get it on this straight, but if he remains close, he should be able to get it when we make our way down through 11 towards turn number 12 as well, using a bit of ERS. So his ERS is at 14%. So now with the DRS, he might just want to sit behind for a few laps, try to charge that up as well. But if he does feel like there's an opportunity there to try to take the position, he definitely will go for it, because these drivers know that laps are running out, so the opportunities will be as well. So if there is a chance, he will definitely go for it.
Yep, time is of the essence. Final 5 laps. 0.4 of a second splits Kronk and Bananas right now, and Kronk has done an excellent job of closing that gap. He's well and truly found his momentum, found his balance. You can tell he is going for it now. He has found whatever confidence he needs, and now he's making a real threat to Johnny Bananas' P2 position. With the DRS, he's pumped everything into this attack here. He's put everything out. He's going to use all of his battery. He's going to go for it.
Oh.
Goes inside further as Johnny's Bananas retaliates. Little bit of tyre smoke coming out of turn 12, and he's going to get it. He's going to get the P2. Now, is Johnny's Bananas going to retaliate? Let's see. He's caught the car right there. He can see his opponent still struggling a little bit for pace. He's not got on the recharge, curiously. Maybe he's trying to play a little bit of mind games. He's trying to make Johnny's Bananas think that he has got a full battery. Really, he's much lower, but maybe he is just trying to play his opponent for a fool here, as we've got the last couple of laps going.
We are indeed still Johnny's Bananas with the DRS as well to try remain close and try come back. This is going to be an incredible battle going on for second all the way till the end of this race. But yeah, that was really tight to the inside for Kronk, who was able to make the move, but it wasn't easy for him. Johnny's Bananas definitely squeezing him all the way, giving a fight for him and not letting him do easily. And now he's going to be the one on the attack. Roles are going to be reversed, and it's going to be Kronk on the defensive, like it was also earlier on when this battle first started and when we first started seeing this battle play out as well. 7/10 of a second as we make our way once again through and off the road. Goes Johnny's Bananas. He's got to use a bit of ERS to make sure that he's inside the 1 second. And through the detection point, would be able to be in that, and he is. He's going to get DRS once again then. He's got to use this one to try get close and remain close onto the back after a few scruffy corners there for him.
Yeah, well, Kronk seems to have particularly good control through the first sector. Now, while he has unfortunately had a couple of offs in that sector, when he links it up, when he gets it right, it's not uncommon to see him sometimes gain as much as half a second. And looking at some of the sector data as well, that only confirms it. But Johnny's Bananas had the DRS, so he did make up that time that he lost. And he is going to be, once again, back on Kronk's tail for P2. Let's see, second sector now, Kronk taking it a little bit wider than his opponent. Johnny's Bananas is going to be set up better for these last couple of corners, but goes a bit deep, goes onto the sausage curb, and that is just going to make things a little bit more difficult for him. Kronk is going to go wide on turn 19, but he hasn't got a penalty yet, so he's got at least one more track infraction left in him before he gets slapped with those 3 seconds from the stewards. Johnny's Bananas, though, not giving up yet, not by an inch.
Not giving up indeed. He still wants to fight for this one, and he's going to do all he can to do so right in the final stages. Lap 25 out of 28. Krog looking very good in the S section once again, pulling a little bit off a gap. And Johnny's Bananas just needs to try keep it composed, try minimize his mistakes as well. Even if Kronk is pulling away slightly, try minimize his mistakes, and he's gained a little bit of time as well then. And now down to the braking zone, we make our way into turn 11, and once again towards turn 12. DRS goes open, using a bit of ERS. So once again, gonna try get close, using it on the exits to just make sure that he's got a good run. And once again into the pit lane comes Nathan Richards, but he's got the gap at this stage to do so.
Yep, and he's going to be in the pits for the fresh set of soft tyres. He's going to go for an even faster lap. He's got the gap. He's going to be committing to that full Grand Slam. He dominated quali. He's dominating the race. Why not get the fastest lap by a healthy margin at the same time? He's not content with just winning the race by over half a minute. He wants to dominate it.
Yeah, absolutely as well then. So still all of them making their way through as well, and that has been a moment for Kronk there, who has lost a lot of time there. So he's now 5 seconds back. Johnny's Bananas is going to say thank you very much, and he will be in a second with 3 laps to go, including this one. And on the soft, trying to end it on a high as well, is going to be Nathan Richard, just trying to push on and take the fastest lap and, continue to dominate out of one and extend his gap as well. And, of course, he has absolutely dominated today, made the moves when he found himself behind other cars today. He made the moves very, very quickly, got past 2 cars into turn 1, and then took the lead into turn number 12 as well. So it was only a lap of waiting behind for him, and he made the overtakes at the earliest opportunities when he did find himself behind other cars. Other than that, it was just driving up the road and driving further away from the field. He has absolutely dominated today, has Nathan Richards, and he's going to really enjoy this victory.
Yep, I don't doubt that he's going to be pretty happy with this one, especially coming out of the blue. 10 minutes before the start of the race, he wasn't set to even be involved, but he joined the server out of nowhere. He said, actually, you know what, is there a spot on the roster? I want to give it a go. I want to race. So he's gone from literally 0 to hero in this scenario. And with the soft compound tyres, he is now going to make even further of a statement and say, yep, this is what I'm made of. Take it or leave it. I am going to be really just coming in and thrashing here in Kota. Looking very sharp, looking very clean. Purple sector 1 for him here. He is effectively just back in qualifying mode again. But he is recharging his battery. He's burnt it all.
Yep, absolutely. Indeed, then, on lap number 27, we're on the penultimate tour of this race then. And nearly home is Nathan Richards, and as you mentioned, he wasn't even meant to be racing today. Joined about a few minutes before we were about to get underway and said, is he able to race? The answer was yes, and he's absolutely wiped the floor with the field here at Kota, and will be interesting to see if he does participate in other rounds throughout this season. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on and if he's able to continue his domination and what the field is going to do to try and challenge him.
Yeah, I wonder how the field is going to stack up after this, because obviously we've got a situation where a driver has come in and sort of wiped the field in a way. I wonder if this is going to be a one-hit wonder type of deal, or whether he's going to be a consistent presence in the field going forward. 35.2, he is going to cement his fastest lap and do so very convincingly. If we just take up a quick comparison, you can see 37.3 is your next closest time from not Vessel, in fact, as he's going to get now up to 15 seconds of penalties to their name. Is not going to be a happy bunny, is not going to be looking too pleased with that one. Kronk is going to be also sat with 3 seconds, so he is not going to be making quite the push against Johnny's Bananas as they were previously. Any time they get past him here would be a Pyrrhic victory. It would just be returned on the penalty.
Indeed then, so not only so that at least he has pushed on and has brought that gap down as well, but there we see Nathan Richards now about to make his way through the final sector and about to become the winner of the US Grand Prix, and this is going to be an enjoyable last few corners for him. He's done all the work today, and if he can survive the last few corners, victory is going to be his.
Yeah, but as we can see him coming through the final sector now, coming just out of turn 15 and through to the final sets of corners. The Grand Slam is a bit of an understatement. With 37 seconds clear of the next car, Nathan Richards is going to be finishing the race in the wall. He goes for the pits and overcooks. He's just DNF'd himself at the final corner. He was on board for the Grand Slam and he has binned it. What do you even say?
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Indeed, I did say if he could survive the last few corners. Well, no, is the answer to that. He can't survive the last few corners.
That feels like either a careless mistake or something more, but there's going to be a different kind of winner than today in that case, because Johnny's Bananas, round the final corner, is going to be clutching victory from the face of defeat. He's going to come in and win this 5th race of the calendar in Kota. Kronk is going to be P2, and then Not Vessel is going to be eventually bringing it home in P3. Nathan Richards and Rare Ghost both falling out of the points thanks to their DNF finishes. As the checkered flag has fallen, the time is running down. A big turn of events just in that last second.
Yeah, the last few meters, everyone would have been relaxed. Dominant victory, almost there. And then over the line, well, couldn't get over the line as well. Oh. And he said in the chat, I didn't think winning would be fair.
Okay, so, well, there's a bit of an honor system involved, I guess, in the end of the day. It is going to be Vessel coming through. Final corner now is going to be taking it to the line.
He didn't do that on purpose. He wanted to win in the pit lane, but broke too late.
Oh, so it was a genuine mistake.
Yes, it was a mistake.
It was a genuine mistake.
Yes.
Well, got a bit too overzealous, a little bit too cocky there. Unfortunate for him. And that is going to see the podium take a very different look after that one. So as we come up to the final board here, 15 seconds of penalties for Vessel and 3 seconds of penalties for Kronk, but it's not going to change much as Johnny's Bananas is going to take the win here in Kota. 49 minutes of racing later, he's going to have it. Real Kronk, second place. Vessel third. And then DNFs, it's going to be Nathan Richards and Rare Ghost. I still find it wild. Last corner, goes to have a bit of an ego finish in the pit lane, and he just bins it. Real unfortunate for him, considering he, by all accounts, had it in the bag. He had everything going for him.
Yep. Everything was going well. Everything was going right. Wanted to finish in style in the pit lane, but no, he wasn't even able to finish. Instead, he crashed right at the end of the last possible opportunity.
And there you go, folks. So that is where we wrap things up for now. Where does that take us next? Is going to take us next to Belgium. So same time next week, you can join us here on the channel and you'll be able to catch us live with the halfway point of the season, seeing where championships are starting to fall into place, see what drivers are going to come out on top, and most of all, you're going to have some quality racing, some quality production courtesy of the JPB team. But for us, for myself and Omi, we are going to be signing out for tonight. Spa-Francorchamps next week. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it here. Keep it with the WCCS. And we will see you very, very soon. Goodbye for now.